Good morning, boys and girls, and happy Wednesday. Today we're going to get started on decimals. We're going to look at number lines today, and we're going to be able to plot a point on a number line and say what it is as a decimal and a fraction. So let's get started with our first one. I want you to go ahead and draw this on a piece of paper if you have one. As you can see, I have a number line, but that's between 4 and 5. And in between 4 and 5, I have it's separated by tenths. So there should be 9 lines in between 4 and 5. And then I have a dot on this first line. So my first question that I must ask myself is, what is this plotted point in decimal form? So I know it's not yet to the 5, so it's 4 point, and it's on the first tenth, so it would be 4.1, so 4 and 1/10. If I were to write that as a fraction, I would write 4 and 1/10. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to ask myself, how many more tenths would I need till I get to the next whole number, which is 5? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I would need 9 more tenths to get me to my next whole number. So I could write that as 0.9 or 9/10. This is all we're going to do for today. We're going to do 4 more problems like this, and then I'll give 2 extra ones that you can do for on your own. But this is something that we would have done together in your workbook if we were in school. So our next one, go ahead and draw a number line just like we did before with 9 lines in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it's going to be between 6 and 7. And there's my dot. So here's my number line. Sorry, it's kind of reflecting off the screen. So I have 6 and 7, and then I have my dot, or my point on the fourth one. So if I were to write that as a decimal, I know I'm not yet to the 7, so it's at 6 point, and then which tenth am I at? I'm at the 1, 2, 3, fourth one. So I would write it as 6.4. Then if I were to write it as a fraction, I would write the 6 as a whole again, and then I would write 4/10. And finally, if I were to go to 7, how many more tenths would I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/10, so I could either write it as 0.6 or 6/10. Today's lesson in the book was supposed to be a chart, so it's easier to kind of see where you would have been putting these things, but because we're doing this online, you're just going to write it underneath your number line. All right, the next one, go ahead and draw a number line as well. Put 9 lines in between. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Some of you may be asking, Mrs. Weiner, why do we only put 9 lines in between? Because this last one would have been 10 tenths, which is like 1 whole. So we're going to label it 14 and 15. And we're going to put it right here, the point right here. So as you can see, we are not all the way to 15 yet. So our whole number is 14. But then we're looking at the tenths. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I would write it as 14.7. Oops, sorry, my camera's a little off. Then if I were to write it as a fraction, I would write 14 wholes again. And then I would write 7/10. And then my last question I ask myself is, how many more tenths would I need to get to 15 wholes? 1, 2, 3, so that I could either write it as 0.3, so 3/10, or 3/10 for 3/10 as well. All right, we have 2 more. Go ahead and draw your number line again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to make the whole numbers 19 and 20. And the point is right here in the third one. So first I'm going to ask myself, what is this number in decimal form? I know I'm not to the 20 yet, so it's 19. And I'm going to put my decimal point, and I'm at the third one, so it would be 19.3, which if you were to read that, it would be 19 and 3/10. Now I'm going to write it in fraction form. You write 19, and you write 3/10. And finally, how many more tenths would I need to get to 20? There's two ways you could do it, but before I've been just counting how many tenths. You could also ask yourself 3 plus what equals 10? I know it's 7, so you could either write it as 0.7 or 7/10. So on your test for next year, like for PARCC and things like that, well, now it's called the IAR, you will be given a number line, and they'll ask you what is this mixed number using either a fraction or a decimal, and that's why it's important that you know how to read these number lines. Okay, we have one more for today that we're going to go over together. So go ahead and draw your number line. And the two whole numbers are going to be 24 and 25. And the point will be right in the middle. So if I were to write this in decimal form, I know that I'm not to the 25 yet, so I'm at 24. I put my point, and I'm at the fifth one, so it's 0.5, which is 5/10. So you would write it as 24.5. Next, if I were to write that in a fraction, I would write 24 again. So I just kind of sloppy and writing sideways. And I would write it 5/10. And the last question I'm going to ask myself is, how many more tenths would I need to get to 25? 5 plus what equals 10? Be 5. So you could either write it as 0.5 or 5/10. So that is all the work that we're going to do together today. I am going to give you 2 extra if you would like to do 2 on your own, and you can send them to me, and I can let you know how you did, and I can also give you an extra dojo, same if you would like to send it to Miss Sweet. So let me draw those 2 number lines real quick. Alright, so your 2 number lines that you could do on your own are between 8 and 9, and your point is here. And the last one is between 13 and 14, and your point is here. Remember to please let Miss Sweeter know how you did. Send a picture or a message letting us know that you're doing the homework so that we can give you credit. Alright, have a great day. I'll work with you tomorrow. Bye.